Okay, it's 6. Meeting to order at 6:30. It's September 3rd, 2025, at 4 Elm Street in Pilsenberg. Mercy, a board meeting. So on the agenda, it's welcome to all. We hope that we had a successful and healthy summer. And summer's not over. We got about 18 more days to go. So look out for that. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel at a later date. So items for the agenda. I need a motion that the board of directors add anything to the agenda, if there's any additions to the agenda. And seeing none, I guess we don't need that motion. So approval of the agenda. Motion of the board of directors approves the agenda as circulated. Mover and seconder, Reedy and Tom. Okay, all in favor? And that motion is carried. We'll ask for declarations of conflict of interest. General nature thereof, seeing none. Minutes of the previous meeting. Board meeting was held on July 2nd, 2025. Motion that the minutes of the board of directors meeting be adopted as circulated. Moved by Jim, seconded by Rainey. And then we'll ask for business arising from them. I'm sorry, no, we'll call that question. All in favor? And that will be definitely one song. Okay. And business arising from them. None? Good. Now review of the committee minutes. We did have an audit and finance committee meeting on August 2nd. There's a motion for the minutes which are circulated. To be approved. Is there anything you'd like to comment? Maybe we'll ask Aaron. Is there anything you'd like to comment?
It's all documents in the minutes.
It's all there. Any questions for Aaron? You've all read your reports. We've all been good. We did our homework, which okay. And then we'll ask that the motion of the minutes of the audit finance committee meeting held August 8th be adopted as circulated. Moved by Chris and seconded by Deb. Okay to call you Deb or Deborah?
Deb's fine.
Okay, fine. I'm married to a Deb and she prefers that, so it's good. All in favor? And that's carried. And then the Lee Brown Marsh Management Committee meeting held May 15th. That was a while ago. Any comments on the? Wait, Columbus was there and I believe you were. Any comments? You've all read it? So we'll ask for a motion in the minutes of Lee Brown Management meeting held May 15th be received as information. And that is from me and seconded by Jim. All in favor? And that's carried. Correspondence, we don't have any. Development application. We'll turn that over to Leanne.
Good evening. So this report's for your information. We have granted 40 permits since our last board of directors meeting in July. So there should be 2 months worth of applications that have received permits. And the map associated with all of the where the permits have been issued is on page 30. If you have any questions, I can answer that.
Pertaining to me, so Pete, do you have questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you to Leanne, I just noticed on application 119/25, Grand Road, Oxford County, this is the town of Pilsenberg should be Township Southwest Oxford. Alternative route entirely. Southwest Oxford.
Thank you.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, if I may, thanks, Mr. Chairman. Ian, the one on Hunt Street in Simcoe, it's a small development behind the Journey's End, it's called. What are they doing there? I saw they drilled about 4 wells and this one. Yeah.
So through the chair, they are completing 44 townhouses, 40 something townhouses. So with that, they have to do all the servicing as well.
I saw all that, and I mean that was the old I call it Sucks Pond area up there, but I meant I frequent by there and I see them drilling, and I wonder if there's some kind of heat pump thing going in there? Or nobody seemed to know around it.
Yeah, I'm not.
Nothing to do with us, and I'll ask staff what, it's just unusual, and they must have a major tank in there for their stormwater storage.
So there'll be smaller tanks, but there will be a pond that will be at the north end. If there's any wells, I know for any normal subdivision, they have to do test pits for the soils. So I'm not sure if that's that or if
It's just very unusual the way they're doing the job, but I'll find out. That's fine. It's nothing to do with us, I guess. Thank you.
Jim. Yeah, thanks, Chairman. Application 11-25. There's a term, Bracco. Could you just tell me what that is? Never heard it before.
you repeat the 11
It's the very
Oh, no.
second one. A satisfactory Bracco contingency plan.
So that is, you're in the term like fracking. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. They do it. Oh,
I'm not drilling for oil though.
yeah, so they'll do that with also with like other, it's not just pertains to oil, it's like the methodology I think they use.
So they're pumping some sand or something somewhere.
I'd have to review the details of the application. This was probably back in early July, so I have to look at it.
Okay, thank you.
I know, stay.
Sure.
I had questioned that, and that is just it was a contingency plan if they needed, if something happened, they had a plan. And that was a term that I asked the same thing, but like, when we're tracking, I want to know what Bracco contingency plan was. And it's related to how they would mitigate if something went wrong with the drilling. So I don't know. We have information on that then.
Yeah, so for generally any development that they do when they're doing directional drilling or whatnot, they have contingency plans to see if their sediment erosion control counts, or if their directional drill something fails. So it's just a type of contingency plan that they've done for this type of work.
There's no danger to the watershed.
And that's why the contingency plans are in place, where things don't go as planned, have those in place and they can, instead of coming up with a plan at the time when something happens, they have it in place, so if something does happen.
Good question. Need to be educated. Okay, anything further? We have reports? And seeing none, we'll ask for a motion that the board of directors receives staff approval, section 28 regulation approval. Approve permits, report as information. Mover and second. Pete, and how about Michael on the floor? Will you second that? Or anyway. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. New business? Oh, that's good. General managers report. Judy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, in August, on August 9th, we had the Deer Creek Children's Pitching Derby. It was well attended, 130 kids were there and participated. And we actually, staff raised over $2,000 in cash and product donations for the derby, and that every child went home with a prize. Thus, everybody had a great time. We had a lot of positive feedback on.
Were they biting that day?
What's that?
Were the fish biting that day?
Yeah, there was, I wasn't there, but, Jessica was there volunteering. And,
So they
Yeah,
were
they-
successful with their fish.
very successful,
Good.
yeah, for the kids. So we also had at the Lee Brown meeting in August, we gave the Leighton Betty Brown Conservation Scholarship Award out, and that went to Will Culford, and he actually worked the summer at Deer Creek for us. So that was a good event. And what else do I want to highlight? We did have our kickoff meeting with the Canada Water Agency staff for the Bridgeways Freshwater Ecosystem Initiative funding of $635,000, which will be over 3 years, which will help with the Victoria Dam decommissioning. So we just had another meeting today, putting together the work plan and the completion plan and a detailed cash flow for them. And hopefully we'll have an agreement signed in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Also I think all the board got notice that we did issue a level 1 low water advisory. It's been quite a few years since we had seen a level 1 in our watershed. And actually, we are still at that level today. After the rains that's predicted for tonight and tomorrow, we'll be looking at the levels and we'll be sending out a message to all the committee members just to confirm if we are remaining in a level 1 or you would vote that. So SAFE will be providing that information out to the committee, likely on Friday. So I just also want to note, just left a brochure for the Ward 1812 at everyone's spot, and that's being held on September 6th and 7th if you'd like to attend. And the Memorial Forest is on the 21st. And then we also have a trade show that's being put on by the Canadian Association of Outdoor Collectible and Decoys. It's on the September 20th, and then that will be at the Ed Center with admission of $5. And then also the people attending will be able to take a look at the decoy gallery. And we're hoping that some people get excited about giving us donations and decoys for the gallery. So lots going on. But that's all I have for tonight. Thanks.
Any questions on anything, Jim? Yeah, thank you, Ditch. I went to the so-called quilting show. Quilting and knitting and
Oh, the field to flower and
the directional signs are very poor.
the
The directional signs, how to find a place.
up into the village.
Yeah,
So we can note that. I know Jess was working on some signage to improve that. So hopefully I think we had some feedback on that. So for the War 18s, while Jess was at the laminator giving up signs a couple days ago, we hope to improve that.
I asked at the gate when you come in, was that on my card and said, where should I go? And they just assumed that I knew everything, and I certainly don't.
Okay. We'll make
So,
sure
yeah.
that we get some
Just
signs.
just will look after it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Anything further? Okay, we'll entertain a motion that the board of directors receives the general manager's report for July and August 2025 as information. Robert, you haven't moved anything yet. Can we get you?
I haven't moved hard at all.
Moved by Chamber, seconder, please. Gina, seconder from Deb. All in favor? Say that's financial reports on page 37 from June 30th, 2025. Which you might say.
So the Q2 financial report provides comparison of actuals versus budget up to and including June 30th of the fiscal year. Revenues for the first 6 months of the fiscal are 3.76 million, representing 59.6% of the budget. Expenditures are 2.6 million, representing 42.8% of budget, resulting in a surplus for the first 6 months of $1,160,069. For the first year, this is down $34,863 in comparison to the same period of 2024. Planning fees are down 19% year over year to $96,618. The forestry department has issued and awarded 2 tenders through June 30th, resulting in $256,000 of revenue, and your full year budget is $310,000. Camping revenues of $1,568,526 are in line with 2024 camping revenues. Seasonal campsites booked at June 30th are down from 447 sites to 416. The decrease in seasonal camping demand has been offset with an increase in daily, weekly, and camping revenues. The authority is in a favorable position as at June 30th of the fiscal with a surplus of $1,160,069 and expect it to remain to the budget of 5. Questions from the board?
Thank you. Comments, Mike?
Any idea why we got to reduce camping site? Request for camping.
Through the chair, I have two theories. I think the economy's faltered a little bit, but most notably, we've noticed a decrease in seasonal camping. So I think in prior years, we've had a lot of demand from seasonal contract workers at the industrial sites around.
Yeah, Aaron, did you reinvest that money there where you talked about it, finance money bill? You said you're hoping to get 3% or something on the, is that a question on the line?
We did receive the funds from that investment and we're currently working on testing.
Oh, I haven't done it yet. Okay, thanks.
You'll have that for the next audit finance committee.
I can give you a break.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything further? Reports? And seeing none, we'll have asked for a motion that the board of directors receive the Q2 financial reports June 30th, 2025 for the period up to and ending June 30th, 2025. And if that says information, Tom and Randy. All in favor? Carry. Regulation mapping and
Alpine State staff are seeking endorsement to initiate public consultation for proposed updated regulation mapping for third reg 4124. Staff have been working on a comprehensive update to our mapping since 2020. And the previous mapping that we use now, the last update was done in 2006. This update will integrate various floodplain mapping studies that we've completed within the watershed, hazard mapping studies, and utilize updated topographic information such as LiDAR. And it will make regulatory changes to the mapping as last year regulation limit around provincially significant wetlands changed from 120 meters down to 30 meters. The public consultation plan will include public notice via social media, website, newspaper ads, and to our member municipalities, as well as various other organizations. It'll also include an in-person public education center here at the administrative office in the October. In addition, online engagement will take place through our website as the draft mapping will be posted and people will be able to find the property, take a look at what the mapping says now with the draft stuff, and also provide feedback to ourselves about their property or just the concepts in general. The public consultation will be open for approximately 8 weeks, so that should provide the public with adequate time to review and provide their comments to us. Our website will be updated throughout the process, and feedback will be received and a response will be provided as staff deem appropriate. Final edits to the mapping will be completed based on feedback and will be brought to the board of directors for final approval and publication. So this is kind of kickstarting public consultation phase. So we're just looking for endorsement of that.
questions? Doug?
Yeah, for me, Mr. Chairman, can you repeat that 120 to 30 meters? What was that for again?
So last year, April 2024, when the province made the legislative changes, when it changed from the regulated area surrounding potentially significant wetlands was 120 meters, has decreased now to 30.
So will that make a significant difference in a lot of places, and will it?
Yeah.
And the LiDAR mapping for 2018, was that done on everything? Like in terms of all the floodplain mapping and everything, or?
So through the chair, it was completed for our entire watershed.
Okay,
So we were able to, created a tool in GIS that was able to mark the bottom of a slope and the top of a slope to then create a setback from there. So previously what had been done, because we didn't have any of that information in 2006.
Right,
If there was a thought that a ravine was there or knowledge that there was a ravine there, basically they took the lines and went all the way around it. Just to adequately cover any area, we'd go out on site, find where the actual ravine is, and kind of narrow it down from there. Now with having LiDAR and having all the great information it has, we're able to narrow that down quite a bit more.
so what I'm trying to. If you got elevations on the flood line mapping. If it changes from 120 to 30. You'll have new elevations, right? Like the existing lines are all elevated, with geodetic data, right?
Floodplain mapping lines, yes.
Okay, so, and that's what's gonna change from 120 to 30?
So all floodplains are regulated plus 15 meters. The 120 to 30 is for provincially significant wetlands, so that's completely separate.
Okay,
It's a component of the reg, but those are two separate parts.
but the floodplain mapping. It's all done with elevations like geodetic data,
Yes,
it is?
it's all done. It's not yeah, it's all referenced. So we're able to, all the new floodplain mapping that we've received all comes with the shape files. So it's all based on surveys that I've done. They use LiDAR as well, and it's all plotted on maps.
Okay,
And so we take that, add the extra 15 meters on, and that's a regulation limit for floodplain.
I'm thinking of some significant wetlands, if you would call it that, in an area east side of Simcoe, and it never was wetland, but it became wetland. But somebody plugged a drain up, but so that, even though, how do I word it, it was never floodplain or hazard land, it's going to be reduced by 90 meters, basically. Goes from 120, you said, down to 30.
If it is only identified as wetland,
Yeah,
it would go from 120 to 30. But if there's also floodplain there, we would take the outer limit of whichever one it is.
that'd be very interesting to see that when it's. Yeah, sorry.
Judy?
So through the chair, so when Leanne's saying 120 to 30, that's the part that we would regulate. So that's from like the edge of the wetland. So you did, before you. We've had to look at all applications that were within the 120 meters of the
Right.
wetland. So I'm not sure if you're thinking the size of the wetlands were
Well,
changing or.
yeah, I think, at least that's the way I'm interpreting, like. If it's out here, it's gonna be reduced. You go 120 from the edge, right?
So
Now,
we regulate the wetland itself,
yeah,
and then we used to be the wetland itself plus 120 meters all the way around it. Now
gotcha.
it's the wetland itself plus 30 meters.
That's right. So that's a significant change, really.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, I'll be interested to see it. Thank you.
Anything further on that, Chris? Chris?
Mr. Chairman, wasn't that long ago that it was 30 and they changed it to 120, don't we just have our old maps and.
Yeah, and the last time we did this mapping, I recall there was some backlash by property owners. You got pretty excited. That was, I guess, 2006, right? And so I'm thinking now that it's being switched from 120 to 30. It's making things more lenient on the property owners, so. It should be more acceptable, is what I'm thinking.
That's the way I read it. Maybe I'm off, but
So through the chair, what happened in 2006 was that we started regulating the shoreline. So I think that probably caused some angst for landowners. Previous to that, we did not regulate the shoreline. So in 2006, the whole shoreline was added. So I mean, it's still a text-based regulation. So what that means is even if something is mapped or not mapped, if it meets the definition of what's in the reg, we regulate it. The mapping is just a good indication what it looks like to try and let landowners know whether that be a permit or not, let the building department, planning departments know. So the more refined we can get it, the better we can scope it. If there is an error in it or someone believes that the mapping is wrong on their property, we can go up and take a look at it and determine what is actually regulated based on the features on the land through a site search.
Right. We'll read the motion that the board of directors receive this report as information. Further, that the staff be directed to complete public consultation for the draft regulation mapping in accordance with the Ontario Regulation 41-24. And finally, that staff be directed to bring the final draft of recommendation mapping for approval by the board of directors after the public consultation is complete. And I'm the mover and a seconder for that motion. Tom and Pete. And all the questions, all in favor? And that's carried. The timber, the England Anderson Becker. Judy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, two tenders were issued and we received bids on both, and they're summarized in the report. And this is for, conifer. It's, mainly white pine. And we're asking the board to consider the bid from Bauman Sawmill for the Anderson Lee Becker track for a tender price of $43,600. And the second one is for the bid that was submitted by Little Otter Tree Farm for the conifer timber at Ringland Track. And the tender price there was $35,626.50. So with the two tenders, that brings the revenue to date of $335,466.50 for the forestry revenue, and our target was $310,000 for the year.
We exceeded the target. It's good. Markets are good.
Well, we had to switch some things around based on the couple of properties that we had to load of the year up and things.
Questions? Mike?
So the Little Otter Tree Farm, they sell tree stock, right? Just Jeff, right?
Yes.
And so I've never known him to be in the timber falling business. Did he just start that up or?
No, he had been in the business, I think. He had stopped. I think due to health issue, but now he's back in the game, so.
Good.
And now the 30 had done with him before. We're standing together.
Okay. I have a motion here that the board of directors accepts the tender bid submitted by Amberg Sawmill. So from York Standing Bonitzer Timber and Anderson Becker Track LP 364-25 for a total tender price of $43,600. And that the LPRCA board of directors accepts the tender bid submitted by Little Otter Tree Farm for Mark Standing conifer timber at Ringland Track LP 365-25 for a total tender price of $35,000, $626. That's called by Chris, seconded by Jim. All in favor? That carries. That pretty well concludes things, unless there's something else to bring up, and I would like to bring up something that so this came across from the comments. This is one of those announcements. So I think most of the municipal people have even probably reading this too. Cherio is investing $6 million in wetlands conservation. Are you aware of that came on today?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I actually got 2 emails on that.
Thank you.
Sources.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there something that would perhaps into our residents, or do we have to work with our municipal partners for this sort of thing?
The one thing I did see, they, for restoration of like invasive species control in wetlands, it's not treated in wetland, it's not to secure property, but if there's a wetland that can't be improved, there might be an opportunity for us, because we're always looking for money to help do the invasive species control at the marsh and our various properties, but this is tied to the wetlands and it. I think it has to be fairly close or connected some way to the Great Lakes.
I didn't know if it had anything to do with some of our dam issues that we had.
Yeah, I looked at that.
That's more
I don't,
infrastructure funding, where this is more operational.
yeah, this is more for improving the wetland.
I'm sure you've looked at it, I just wanted.
I just went and set up, but when I
Something
send it
like
to
that.
Leanne, yeah, then we'll have Paul take a look at it.
Okay, we don't have a closed meeting tonight, so the next meeting will be October 1st, 2025 at 6:30 PM in this location. However,
Just before you adjourn, Mr. Chairman, I was just wanted to make a comment with regard to the Memorial Forest Service. I'm not sure whether you are planning to attend or not.
I had plans.
Okay. I think it's important that someone from the board.
I think it's a tradition that the board chair or designate doesn't have, and I plan on being there. Yeah.
If staff could perhaps email myself the times and I know the date, but the time and some of the details, because I didn't attend last year. I think it was it's something that I'm gonna say I enjoyed it, but it's something that I haven't had to go to against.
It's very solid, right? And while we're at it, what about the owl prowl that's coming up to us? There's something, yeah.
Had it, the owl problem.
I missed it.
So yes.
Sorry. It's not on the calendar, so. Okay, we do our best. Okay, Jim.
For the memorial service, last year they had a list of the families that were involved. Is there such a list available this year?
Maybe I can just, through the chair, ask Jess to speak to that, because we placed an ad and,
Do you mean like who people donated in honor of? Yeah,
Sure.
so there's one in the Port Rowan Good News right now. So we went out in Holman Press and then Pilsenberg News,
Okay,
but I can send you a copy of them.
that's the easy way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Justin.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And congratulations, Tom, on Trooper coming to Port Rowan on the weekend. You had a sellout crowd. Everything was really good. So it's any comments on it?
We did, Mr. Chair. It was the last of that concert series that Norfolk County sponsored with some startup money, and it was the culmination of a very successful season and series of concerts. And I'm looking forward to next year to watch that same group do this independently and entirely on their own without municipal support. And I know they can do that. So it was just a great night that night. Had about 1,000 people there. That was the best attended concert of the series, and just a really good time. Visitors from honestly everywhere. That was the really good thing for me.
What I understand, the service club, so the Lions Club did very well. They hosted some beverages and so on.
Yes.
Did very well.
Yes, it was a great way to end the summer with the Bayfest activities and the wrap up on the Sunday. Very nice.
Of course, some big boats came in, but the water was a little low on the weekend. I understand it was down about 6 inches.
It was.
There's some almost sand dunes out there in some areas, so they had to maneuver those rigs. Congratulations. All right, anything else? Best interest, okay. There, the meeting. Thank you.